What up, world? Fly Eagles Fly. Welcome to another jam-packed episode of Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful and now chilly-like conditions of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast not only here on YouTube, but on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Substack, Patreon, Trovo, and as well as on Podbean. Happy to be here with you guys on this beautiful October 9th, 2025. This episode is going to be the Eagles versus Giants preview game for the Thursday night football game tonight, headlining week 6. Major game pretty much for the Eagles and for the Giants. Both teams have a lot at stake right now. Giants more or less rebuilding, 1-4, rookie quarterback now at the helm of Jackson Dart, looking to try to gain some momentum and beat the top team within the division. Philadelphia, after losing that rough game Sunday against the Denver Broncos, definitely looking to rebound and bounce back. So a lot of things to digest and unpack. So I'm definitely going to dive into it, give you some, tips and tricks going into the games and things to keep an eye out for, betting odds, betting tips and selections, things like that. So before we go any further, I definitely want to make sure we give a shout out to several friends in the show. If you guys are familiar with the show and if you guys are plugged in, and if you're not, definitely make sure you like and sharing and subscribing. Definitely check that out. But StubHub and Viagogo, the number 1 and number 2 leading ticket resellers in the world to live events, shows, and concerts, currently have a plethora of selections and things available right now that you'll see on the screen. Whether it's from StubHub, whether it's just events that you're trying to get to right now, whether it's college football, NFL, WNBA, MLB postseason in full swing of things right now, Ed Sheeran concert, whatever it is you're looking for, StubHub definitely has it available. Also, you'll see here on the screen too for my UK subscribers, the events that's going on right now for Viagogo in the UK. A lot of things to definitely get into, a lot of things to definitely enjoy over this next period of time, a couple months before the holiday season starts. So definitely make sure you're making the most of your time. Like I said, StubHub and Viagogo, the number 1 and 2 leading ticket resellers in the world to live events, shows, and concerts. And last but not least, for my avid gamers out there, if you're big into PlayStation like I am, I implore you to check out the description box in the link in this video for the link to PlayStation Direct. You will be able to access PlayStation Direct's homepage to be able to acquire a game system, controllers, accessories, whatever it is that you may need to enhance your PlayStation experience. I implore you to check it out. Sony PlayStation, more than a game. All right, guys. So like I said, getting into this episode is going to be obviously Eagles versus Giants preview. Big NFC East matchup right now. You have the Eagles obviously coming off that tough loss to the Denver Broncos for a myriad of reasons, pre-snap penalties, bad calls by the referees, whatever it is, it still led to the first loss of the season for Philadelphia. A lot of things that Philadelphia had left on the table, a lot of things that just weren't resolved Sunday that definitely needed going into this week and going forward. They definitely need to try to solidify and tighten up. Getting into the crux of it, though, looking at the matchup. The history of the matchup is very, very crazy. If you actually look at it, historically, the Eagles actually lead the series all-time, 96, 89, and 2. 96 wins, 89 losses, 2 ties. That's pretty impressive. It's actually one of the oldest rivalries in the NFL. The Eagles and Giants have been playing each other for a long time, I believe since the 30s. So it just gives you an idea how deep and long this rivalry is. The Eagles have won, which I think is very pertinent for you people out there that's looking to make selections and your pick'ems tonight or your betting selections. The Eagles have won 7 of the last 10 games in this matchup, dating all the way back. I mean, again, there was a loss in the 2023 season that the Eagles had suffered. Do you guys remember towards the end of that year? That was the slide season where the Eagles' last win was beating the Giants on Christmas. And then all of a sudden, that game going into the end of the season, A.J. Brown gets hurt. He was out for the playoff game. It just derailed everything that the Eagles pretty much had going into that Tampa game, and season was over from there. But be that as it may, that was pretty much the last time the Giants had beat Philadelphia. So Philly definitely has had momentum on their hands. Obviously, Saquon Barkley had returned last year to New York, put on a show last year. So definitely something that the Eagles are going to be looking forward to. And after the performance or the lack of performance that he had rushing the ball last week, where he only touched the ball 6 times, I definitely think that there's going to be some adjustments made this week. This is going to be a pivotal game for the Philadelphia offense. Philadelphia's offense has to get out on the ground running. That's just being efficient, passing and running the football, not necessarily doing more of anything in one area, just doing all things right on both sides of the football to play a complete game to win the game. You go a bit further, you look at the way the current rosters and matchups are set up. the matchups obviously are in favor of the Eagles. I mean, the Giants defense, though they have not been a dumpster fire this year, have not been great. Looking at here, I'm pulling up the statistics for you. I mean, obviously you gave up 40 plus points to the Cowboys, gave up 21 to the Commanders. Your defense has not looked great this year. They haven't been Giants, Dallas Cowboys level garbage, but they've been garbage. So looking at it here, pulling it up. Just 1 second, because I know they're not ranked in the top 10. Yeah. I mean, I think they're like the 25th ranked defense currently right now in the NFL. 22nd. So they're 22nd ranked defense in the NFL. 28th in offense. So this is geared for Philadelphia as a get right game, a pickup game. This is a game that Philadelphia definitely should win, and I would think has to win, especially the way things played out this past Sunday. You definitely need to get that taste of losing out your mouth. Beat the shit out this team, division rival, get a good win. Punish them offensively, punish them defensively. And then, you go into a lot of the injuries. Now, it's kind of crazy how the injuries are shaping out. Looking at it on the Eagles side, Nakobe Dean, he could return tonight, coming back off PUP list. Technically, that 21-day window for him to return is open today. Jalen Carter is technically questionable with a heel injury. We'll see how that goes. I'm always a little leery when you hear the heel injury, so we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, too, Grant Calcaterra will be out with an oblique injury. Landon Dickerson, Pro Bowl, All-Pro right guard, also out with an ankle injury. And long snapper Charlie Hewlett will be out with an abdominal injury. He's been put on a short-term IR, so he should probably be back within the next couple of weeks. As far as the Giants are concerned, they got safety Anthony Johnson Jr. He's put on the PUP list, undisclosed injury. Hasn't been determined yet why he's been injured. Jermaine Illuminor, offensive right tackle, questionable with a back injury, so could play tonight, might not play. Swayze Bowman, linebacker, out with an ankle injury. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, out with a hamstring injury. And Darius Slayton, out with a hamstring injury. So both teams battling with some injuries. For the Giants, a couple guys a little bit more prevalent than most. I mean, with the Eagles, Jalen Carter, he battled through injury last week. We shall see. I mean, honestly, the Eagles' bye week is week 9 this year, if I'm correct. I'll look that up just to be sure. But this is one of those years where you definitely are hoping that you can get to the bye week relatively healthy, because injuries like that to Carter, some of these nagging injuries. Yes, week 9 is the bye week for the Eagles this year. So some of these nagging and lingering injuries, things like that can wind up really derailing a season. You really kind of hope that the Eagles kind of get that rectified, and that, it does become a bigger issue or compound later for them in the year. Going into some of the betting odds. Now, the odds are kind of tricky. I checked BetMGM, I checked FanDuel, and I checked DraftKings. Whatever your preference is, definitely bet responsibly. I have saw that the spread is somewhere between -7 and -7.5. I'm going with the spread of -7.5, and I'm even seeing on ESPN Bet that's the spread that they have currently listed. I would say definitely take that spread. The Eagles have, when they have played the Giants, they have typically beaten them by a touchdown or more. I would definitely see that being feasible. So if you're the Eagles, definitely makes sense there. Also, going a bit further, you're looking at some of the prop bets or some of the things that can be decided within the game going into this game and this matchup. I would definitely look for Jalen Hurts to have a pass and a rushing touchdown. Jalen Hurts has definitely thrown and ran for a touchdown against the Giants in every game, in most games that he's played in his career against the Giants. So I think that's definitely something to keep of note. Saquon Barkley obviously only played the one game last year. Second game last season, he sat out. Health, seating was already locked up, so there was no need for him to play. I would definitely peg him in for a rushing touchdown as far as a prop bet tonight. Now, the wide receivers. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Wide receiver wise, you're looking at Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Both of these guys typically do have decent numbers against the New York Giants whenever they play. Devontae Smith, I would have him for over 50 yards in this game. And A.J. Brown, I would have him for over 60 yards. Typically, A.J. Brown has gotten somewhere between 70 to 100 yards against the Giants. But I would just say as a safe bet, not sure how the offense, how things may play out tonight. I would definitely just have him pegged for over 60 yards receiving. And Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart as well, you can have him pegged down for a prop bet for a passing touchdown. This kid has thrown for a touchdown in each game that he's played so far. Albeit it could be the night that, he's playing a Vic Fangio defense. He might not throw one, but I doubt that. I think he will be able to at least get one off. So definitely got to give him props there. And we're going a bit further. Looking to also as well, the Vic Fangio trend of against rookie quarterbacks continues tonight. Vic Fangio has typically had a great history against rookie quarterbacks. I believe the record is somewhere between 20-9 or 19-9 throughout his career, head coach and defensive coordinator playing against rookie quarterbacks. Jackson Dart has got definitely a tall task on his hands. The Giants offense itself has a tall task on their hands. Schematically, they're limited, obviously, because of injury and some of the things that they have going on. But with a rookie quarterback going in, even just going up against his defense on Thursday Night Football in a short week, it's a lot to ask. Vic Fangio gave rave reviews about Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield in the previous weeks. He also talked about Jackson Dart. Talked about how he feels like this team got themselves a quarterback. Talks about, the Eagles are going to have to be prepared for that mobility, his ability to extend the drives and extend plays. Something that they're always going to have to be contentious and mindful of whenever you're playing a quarterback who can spread the field like that. So, and he had a good game against the Chargers too, 13-20, 111 yards, and he ran for a touchdown, obviously. So, the second start against New Orleans wasn't that good. However, you do have to keep in mind too, the more you play, the more experience you build up, the more, chafing you get on the skin. So, Jackson Dart, I think, though he may be a good quarterback for the New York Giants at some point, he's definitely going to have a tall task on his hands tonight going up against his defense, who I think is going to be playing pissed off, energized, and focused, especially with the way things played out at the end of that game Sunday against the Denver Broncos. So looking here at the final predictions and everything, I have, and this is actually a bit of a shocker compared to a lot of the games that I predicted so far in the season, I have the Eagles winning big tonight. I have the Eagles winning 34-17. I think that the offense wakes up. I think the G-men are going to come out aggressive. I think that defensively and offensively, they're going to come out with their best punch. They're going to have a very well thought out game plan to attack this Eagles defense and this Eagles offense to start the game. However, I just fully expect this offense at some point throughout the game to wake up and to really put pedal to the metal and really open the doors up and end this game quickly. So, like I said, final prediction, in my opinion, 34-17 going to the Eagles. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I thank you as always for plugging in. Take care, fly Eagles fly, and enjoy the game tonight, guys.